People, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time ever coming across my content, watching my video, I want to say Akwaba, which kind of means welcome. Um, and, as long as you're here, if you like what I'm about to talk about, if you like the content, if you like the information you're going to get, sub to the channel, like the video, share it. Right now, we're on about 59 subscribers. And I think before the season starts, I definitely want to get to at least 70 and then roll to 100 followers and then henceforth, right? But so earlier today, I was on a channel and there was a lot of like dialogue between the whole Chelsea not getting Samu Omorodion, and instead of him coming in now, it's Joao Felix that is being discussed, and that the news came through Fabrizio. Let me just pull this here. I want to be able to read it right. Um, where is it? This was 2 days ago. He goes, Chelsea and Atletico are discussing Joao Felix after Omorodion deal off. The deal collapsing between Chelsea and Madrid for Omorodion essentially has them trying to find other solutions. And this is not verbatim. I'm just kind of summarizing. Um, Felix has been discussed in the recent hours as his agent Jorge Mendes has landed in London today. Decisions to be made soon as Omorodion deal set to collapse. But Atletico and Chelsea want Gallagher and Alvarez deals to be completed. Solution is needed and Joao Felix part of talks. So that's what happened after the talks between, you know, Omorodion and Chelsea broke down. Now, again, if you look at reports, there's different things going on. Some said it's about medical. Some said it's about a trying to buy his image rights of like 50%, and Chelsea trying to, renege on whatever the contract terms were. Cool. But all we know is the deal is not happening. Now, when Fabrizio first broke the news about Alvarez, Omorodion, and Gallagher, he said it was a domino, which essentially kind of tied all three deals together. Now, would I say the Alvarez deal was kind of tied into the whole Gallagher and Samu? Probably not, because that's kind of like a separate deal-ish on its own. But again, it's still involved in this whole situation, right? So for us to sell Gallagher to Atletico, we had to take Samu off their hands. Now, if we're gonna go with the reports that said, they don't want to go with the deal again because he's injured or he has an ankle problem. Again, for you to sell Gallagher to them, the condition was Omorodion for about 34.5 mil. So again, that agreement kind of still stands in terms of, if we're buying these players from you, you're buying somebody off of us. Now, the solution to that problem was Joao Felix. Now, I have people from my own fan base going, but Felix is not needed. It's pointless. And why are they doing it? Why don't they just sell Gallagher and just walk away from the deal? Well, the club has made it very clear: you either sign the contract or you're being sold. And Gallagher only has a year left on his contract. So why wouldn't they want to get rid of him? They also offered him contract extensions, and he didn't want to sign them because it potentially wasn't, like the terms he might have wanted. Great. The club is saying, well, guess what? You don't want to sign the contract. We don't want you to leave for free, so you got to go. The argument is, well, we're already stacked in these places, in these positions that, Felix potentially is coming into play. My first question is, like, I can see why that could be a problem, only because you have so many kind of the same individuals in the same position. But over the last 2 weeks or so, or even the last week, we've talked about how we've needed depth on the left hand side when it came to the wingers because we didn't rate Sterling and we didn't rate Mudryk. Now Chelsea went ahead and signed Pedro Neto from Wolves, but again, with that signing comes the conversation about how many games are you going to get out of Pedro Neto. We don't know because over his time in England, he's proven that he's a bit of an injury-prone player. So then again, the argument is, at the end of the day, Atleti are still saying, if you want us to sign Gallagher off your hands, we want you to sign a player. Again, they're not going to offer you the best of the best they have in their team. Felix is someone they're happy to get rid of because they don't even want him at the club. Now, I think somehow people have forgotten that to get Samu, you still had to pay money for him. Regardless of if he was a striker, he was the profile we needed. We still needed to make money off the guy, which meant that we're still going to have to spend money anyway. It's not like you're getting Samu and then you're giving them Gallagher and you're not paying money. You're still paying money for Samu. So if he's injured and he didn't pass the medical, and they're asking you, we still want you to take someone from the team, but instead of paying 35.5, whatever, we want to give you Joao Felix, but we think his value is a lot higher than Omorodion's, so you might have to pay a bit extra. Well, then the question is, you either really want to get rid of Gallagher, or you let him come back, sit on the bench, train with the under 21s, potentially him still rejecting other clubs that come in for him. Now, one of the arguments was, well, now he knows that he's going to be training with the under 21s. So maybe if other clubs come in for him now, well, he might want to go. Well, if other clubs know now that Chelsea is desperate, you're not going to get the evaluation, the valuation from Atletico Madrid for the player. Now you're potentially losing about 38 million pounds for another team to tell you, you know what? I know you're really desperate to get rid of this guy. Not a lot of people are coming in for him. So I give you 2025. Now that is kind of like, that's not a deal. The club, again, we've been speaking so much from a place of like, I'm sorry, we've been speaking so much from a place of like absolute, and we don't even know if that's like facts or not, So again, it's just for me, I can't quite understand it because you still have to pay money for Samu regardless. So if you can't get him, and for the opportunity to get rid of someone you want to get rid of, you have to get somebody else and pay a little bit more money. Why wouldn't you just do it? Again, I acknowledge the fact that we have so many players in that position, but again, we've seen teams being linked with Carney Chukwuemeka. We all don't really want to see Sterling on that left-hand side. We think Mudryk is a lost cause. So that's already two options off the left that we might not want to play. Now, if you look at Nkunku, Neto, Palma, Enzo, Drewsby Hall, yes, these guys can play mostly in the central areas. But Felix will come in and give you decent depth. Now, another question will be, why are you paying 15 million euros for a squad option? Guess what? That's just what they want to do. I might not agree with it because, again, I don't think he is someone we need in the team. But if you give me the opportunity to sign Felix or Samu, I'm picking Felix all day, every day. Like, there's really no questions about that. Like, we've all talked about how bad Samu looked in comps. Typically, comps are supposed to make you look good. Oh gosh, guys, sorry. Comps are supposed to make you look good. So if you somehow are looking real stinky in your compilations online, brother, it's just a problem. If Samu came in anyway, this guy potentially wouldn't even be getting game time because Chelsea are still trying to target Victor Oshimen. So now Samu comes in as the third option striker, and people don't care about that. But if Felix comes in as like the sixth choice option, What's the difference? They're both here and potentially aren't going to play. Now, I can give you that Samu might not be on a lot of wages, but again, we don't know how much wages they're going to negotiate with Felix. All I know is that those two deals go hand in hand. You want Gallagher out of your club, we want one person out of our club. If you want to do it, great. If you don't want to do it, great. Let it be. So it's just like today, I was just having these conversations and I just couldn't understand. Like I understood what they were saying, but for some reason they were just missing the point of for you to get this deal done, you have to get this deal done. Like it's really that simple because they're kind of intertwined. You can't have one without the other. And one thing we know of this management and this owners, they don't want players running down their contracts and not being able to get nothing from them. Whether you like it or not, this is how they want to move. They did it with Ian Matson. They made him renew his contract and sold him. They did it with Lewis Hall, made him renew his contract and sold him. Gallagher's no different. And I know you guys rate the player or you don't rate the player. Point is, he's in his last year of his contract. They want to sell the guy. Whatever. Look, there was a time when we used to just watch games without giving a crap about like financial implications. Like we never knew what finances, whatever. We just knew a player was bought for this money and this is what it is. But now we're being forced to understand the breakdown of transactions, fees, PSR, FFP, all of this. And I get that. But as far as I've been aware of, when you sell a player that has come from your academy over to another team, the amount of money you get is pure profit and it goes directly on your books. So if you sell Gallagher for 38 million right now, $38 million goes on your books. Now, if you go out and spend 42 mil on Joao Felix, and depending on how long you amortize, let's say you amortize that contract over 5 years, 42 mil divided by 5 gives you about, let me see, can do math like that. But that's about 8 million on the books every year. So you're paying it essentially in installments. As far as I understand that, that's how it works. I I don't like to be involved in like numbers, but unfortunately, here we are, and we have to understand that. Now, Gallagher, again for reasons that the deal has collapsed, he has been told to come back to the club. Essentially, wait to see what happens, and they want to resolve. Let me just bring this on the screen. They want to resolve the whole situation, but here it is. Conor Gallagher is back in London and is waiting for his situation to be resolved so he can join Atletico. He was excited to play under Diego Simeone. Now, as per um new with the news and everything coming out, Atletico is they're the ones that are essentially holding this deal up because they haven't signed their part of the contract. So then the question again would be if we didn't need to take someone from them for them to get Gallagher off of our books, why in God's name have they not signed the contract? Because those two deals go hand in hand. I'll give you the fact that our team building right now has been in shambles. Like we just have random players and we have people coming from Brazil. It's honestly it's a shit show, right? It's not the best. This is the situation we have right now. But then I'll have people say like, if let's get another defender that comes in and improves the team's defensive shape. Now, again, I'm all for getting an experienced defender to kind of lead these guys in the back line because our back line is really made of like guys who are a little younger and some that don't really have that experience at that top level. So if you get an experience, an old head in there for like a year or two, he can kind of just guide us through these like transitional periods of having a new manager new style of play, a new system, all that good jazz. And I'm all for it. But then wouldn't it be the same thing if you tell me, well, we could go buy a defender, but then we don't need to buy a striker? Like, you're still stockpiling in that position. And I know the defense is essential. Like, it's a position we need, but you still have to move people on if you're going to say it's from a squad planning point of view. Because if you're trying to reduce the numbers, if you add another defender, you're still increasing the numbers anyway. That is my point. So it doesn't really matter if it's Felix coming in or Marquinhos. The squad is still getting bigger. You still have to move someone on, and we can all agree, like, we definitely need to give this, like, these young defenders we have some time. But it's a cutthroat league. It is what it is. You have to hit the ground running and you have to keep it moving immediately. We're trying to get back into the Champions League. We're trying to get back into Europe. We're trying to have a good season. Now, for me, I'm still confident we could potentially get top 4, top 5. In my next video, I'm going to do like my Premier League, like the table prediction and whatnot. But when it comes to this whole like Gallagher situation, look, I hope by tomorrow, the day after, we get some news on this. And look, Felix wouldn't be somebody I would want here. Matter of fact, Samu isn't even someone I want at the club. If it were up to me, you just sell Gallagher to Atletico Madrid and you keep it stepping. You go get the player you need in this team. You get a Victor Oshimen, and you just get this window. Potentially get a center back as well. But again, it's not really a necessity because they already brought Tosin in. We still have, Desasi coming back from injury. Fofana, we have no idea how it's going to be. We still have Levi Colwell. And look, even if they want to integrate Chalobah back into this team, this might still be a better idea. Save some money and not have to spend. But if it were up to me, you go to Atletico, you make this deal happen, you keep it moving, you ain't got no business to do with them because all this back and forth is just, you're just kind of like ruining your what you call it, your relationships with these guys if you're not making these things happen how they should. Now, we've been getting some briefings about Victor Oshimen potentially being, the agreement being made. There was a report from DiMarzio, which, funny enough, yeah, throughout this whole summer, when DiMarzio has posted something, he's really been off the mark. But when this came out saying, Maresca, the coaching staff, have given, the board permission, and Maresca and the coaching staff has given the board permission to bring Victor Oshimen. We're definitely hyped because this is just how it is as fans. If somebody said, if a journalist who we don't even really rate says something that potentially doesn't make, it's not news we want to hear. We just say, you know what, that's a crap source anyway. But once they get with the program and they start saying what we want to hear, now we're all for it. But again, it's looking like Victor Oshimen might be a deal that potentially happens maybe by the end of the week, might drag on into the next week. But one thing we've always lacked, guys, one thing we've always really needed last year. Yeah, I know we scored some goals and, Jackson put up some numbers. Cole Palmer had a phenomenal season, but we've always needed somebody who could take certain chances. Because no lie, a lot of the chances Jackson was missing. Again, we can't guarantee like Oshimen is going to come in and just improve on that drastically. But if you've watched Oshimen long enough, he could be, or he is, a bit clinical than Nicholas Jackson. He is an actual striker. Jackson happens to be a winger converted into a striker. But at the end of the day, if you're a forward, you should be able to bag goals regardless. If you're a winger and you're going through one-on-one, you need to be able to score. If you're a midfielder and you're going one-on-one, you need to be able to bury that chance. With Oshimen, the potential to be able to do a lot better increases. So again, this is a move that I can get with. I am for, and I've always said, listen, if this is the person we believe is going to take us where we want to go, then forget about that weight structure nonsense. Pay the money for Osimhen and bring us some glory, But we'll see how the next couple of days go. Now, I look, Liverpool got rejected by Zubimendi. Yeah. Earlier today, again, just reminded me of another thing. I was listening to a this channel. I think it was Egal, Lewis, Hussam, and I can't remember the other guy, but he's a Man United fan. And the conversation was about pool, right? So again, how I would describe pool is whatever you need to do to get the player to play for your club. That's the pool you have. So now a guy was saying that Arsenal had more pull than Liverpool. I mean, sorry, Arsenal had more pull than Man United, which again I don't necessarily agree with because what the United fan kept saying was, "We are united at the end of the day. We are Manchester United." When it comes to players being attracted to the heritage, the history, the potential, the name, the brand, players will want to play for Man United than Arsenal. Now, the Arsenal argument was, well, we're in a much better position than Man United right now. We're doing so much better right now. That is why teams, and we have better players. That is why players will want to join the club. I can use that argument to say, okay, well, if you look at Man United right now, wouldn't players want to go there because they feel like they could potentially get a starting position in that team? Just because from your point of view, United is really not in the place to challenge right now. So then, wouldn't that be an opportunity for a player to say, you know what, United don't look like they have established players in this position. I don't have to go to United and have to compete with Saka, Odegaard, Trossard, if it is Jesus, Kai Havertz, Saliba, whatever. As a player, you would probably say, you know what, I'm going to go to the team that is probably going to give me the most minutes to develop, the potential to play and improve myself. So that could be one argument. Now, the second argument is yes, Arsenal have challenged for the last 2 years, but you've actually now won anything. United, 2 years on the bounce, have brought home trophies, tangible. Like they've been crap 2 years in a row. Well, technically, the first season when Ten Hag came in, they actually looked good. Last year, they were kind of crap. But 2 years on the spin, they still won trophies. As a player, you look at that and you go, well, yeah, you have a nice style of play, and you're challenging right now, but you're just challenging. You're not winning anything. United 2 years in a row have won something. So guess what? I am going to move to Man United. Third, let's not act like most players don't go to Man United because of the name, because of the history, because of the players that have played for the United, the team. Arsenal have had legends in the game as well. But when we come to recent history, who has won the most, it's Man United. Another conversation in pool is how much you can pay a player, location, and whatnot. So if United decide to pay someone 6 times whatever they were making, let's just say, it doesn't matter. The players are going for stability, financial security, the ability to challenge, be able to play and develop. You have to include money, how much they get paid into that. That's all part of the pool. So if Arsenal going for a player with Man United and Man United go, you know what, over here, maybe we're not challenging right now, but guess what? We're building a team to be there. We want you to be a part of it. And on top of that, we're going to give you X, Y amount of salary. Let's say Arsenal doesn't offer that. Players are going to go to United. So for me, when people talk about pool and all of this, I honestly think it's a lot. It's how competitive your team is, how much you're paying the players. It's about your recent history, your chances of being able to win. If the player sees that they can develop in your team, that's how I view pool. So again, I think like if you look at you look at Arsenal, like, and you look at United, and you look at the signings they've made in recent years. I would say arguably United has, the better pool than Arsenal. But then again, people are going to see it different, and that's cool. Liverpool, on the other hand, they got rejected by Zubimendi. Um, and, before the rejection came in, you listen to their fans. They're all excited. They're singing songs, Zuby, Zuby, do. Just listen to this. I think you guys are gonna enjoy this. And just for this content, you gotta like and subscribe to the channel. But let's see this real quick. One second, people. Share the screen. Let's save this. There we go. uh, uh, oh man, this was the talk from Liverpool fans. They made songs, they made chants, they completely forgot that when it comes to pool, getting players over the line, you have to wait. Yo, last year when the whole Caicedo thing happened, and I was up late at night, and then when I saw the instant bomber that Liverpool have bid X Y amount for Caicedo, the deal has been accepted, agreed. Medicals are going to be scheduled in the morning. Yo, my heart sank in. One, because I knew if Liverpool got Caicedo, guarantee you they challenge for the league. Like, that's how much of a game changer he would have been for them. Caicedo hasn't really performed for Chelsea. Absolutely, he has not, right? But if he went to Liverpool, guarantee they win the league. That much I can tell you. Okay. So when it came out that they were going to sign him, and we weren't, I was sick, like I was really sick. But then in the morning, we wake up, guess what? Caicedo decides to sign for Chelsea. He's given his word. Listen, everything was calm. And then to make it worse, we took Lavia from them, who they should have actually focused on getting, but they decided to interfere in our business. So guess what? We took Lavia and Caicedo. And I think since then, yeah, Liverpool fans have really not liked this. Fabrizio gave us the news, I think it was yesterday, that Zubimendi has rejected Liverpool with formal communication to the club tonight. Sociedad's effort to keep Zubi crucial to make it happen. He's staying with the new deal, everything. Now, after this news came up, excuse me, guys, Liverpool fans could not stand it. They were sick to their stomach. Okay. You should listen to this. I want you to listen to this, people. Listen to this. Listen to this. Oh, yo, I was with Hussam, yeah. I was with him till he decided to go for my man's plate of food. Now you can't mess with people's food, bro. Like, regardless, man, the food part had me crying because I'm like, "Raw, you ran out of shit to say, so you're like, I hope every it was yeah." Listen, when it comes to pool, clearly Liverpool fans have been not on it for a while now, which is calm. But you have to wait. Yeah, you have before you come out on YouTube, before you come out on socials, before you start, just essentially just giving it the big up, letting us know you're getting Zubimendi, you're gonna win the league. They said Caicedo walked, so Caicedo ran for Zubi to walk, some crap like that. Essentially, they really thought they had the player before all of this happened. I'm gonna try not to laugh at Liverpool fans too much because I think three of the midfielders they potentially wanted in their team, we kind of have them now. And they're right. Liverpool fans are right when they say, until a ball is kicked, we get our transfer dopamine. Because let's face it, 2 years in a row, we've not been anywhere near Liverpool. But you got to take your wins whenever, however you can get them. This is a non-significant one, but nonetheless, it's still big enough where we have to just, we have to just take these little wins. Hopefully, now we can transition them into winning games, moving up the table, and whatnot. My next video, I think I'm gonna do the Premier League. The predicted. I'm gonna predict who's gonna be winning the league, Champions League places, who I think might get relegated as well. So it should be fun. Um, but guys, if like I said early in the video, if this is the first time you're watching my content, I've been doing this for about a month or two now, right? We're on 59 subs. I'm trying to get to at least 100 subs before the season starts. Again, if you like the content, if you like the video, support the channel, sub to the channel, like the video, share it, because it does help being able to kind of see the progression in the work you're doing. When people like your content, it makes you want to do more. It makes you want to create more, right? So I appreciate the support so far. I know people do enjoy it. They watch it. Keep doing that. Definitely sub to the channel. But like I said, hopefully tomorrow we hear some good news about, the Felix deal potentially going through. Maybe Oshimen, some major developments, seeing if we can potentially get that deal. And yeah, people, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.